So sorry for being out of the loop for over a week. I was relatively busy with life, but hey, I was suggested to do this one video. I love the media as it has a lot of entertainment. I am a movie/video game lover, however, I don't like all of them. I like to point out the obvious fails when fictional events are met with the real world, though. One suggested topic was the kingdom of Equestria, a seemingly utopia with little ponies everywhere. I've never come across My Little Pony in real life, and I had to do a lot of research. However, it was kind of scary to say the least.
Do I look angry?
In any case, Equestria was founded by three pony tribes, the Unicorns, the Pegasi, and the Earth Ponies. They joined forces to beat the Wendigos and prevent an eternal blizzard. The place is now a utopia where little horses solve their tiny problems. Well, despite its lifestyle, let me tell you that this country won't last another few years, and here are a few reasons why. According to the Ponyville Statistics Trivia on DeviantArt, the population of the kingdom is between 3,100 and 4,500 residents. What's scary is that with no other similar kingdoms in the nearby area, with a similar species available, they are more prone to extinction. Small populations tend to have a lesser workforce with less people finding a way to develop their species. They will also have a smaller gene pool, which means that roughly everyone will reproduce with a distant cousin. And these kinds of people have recessive genes to the point where they don't survive long and they do not reproduce themselves. Yeah, that's kinda bad. And with the large gender gap, this is especially solidified, which brings me to number 2. My Little Pony is obviously a show that is targeted towards young girls. Now, I'm not saying that it's bad for a show to have a specific audience, but if you want to put this against the real world, you're going to have an apocalyptic scenario. The overwhelming majority of the population are female. According to the wiki from My Little Pony, there are only 227 known male characters out of the 4,500 inhabitants in Equestria. And I have to say that I question the sexual orientation of many of them based on their behavior.
Alright, what have we learned?
Lots of control.
Good.
Screaming and hollering.
Yes. And most importantly,
Passion.
right. Now you know the elements of a good cheer. Let's hear one.
Yay.
You got cheer for me like that? Louder.
Yay.
Louder.
Yay.
Louder!
Yay. Too loud?
But even if you took all those 227 males and paired them with 227 females, the vast majority of the population still wouldn't procreate. Not only that, but even if one male had multiple females, the country would still be facing the same gene problem as I mentioned before. In that case, everyone would basically be dating a distant relative. With so many genetic defects, individuals are not going to survive long enough to reproduce themselves. Regardless of which side of the dilemma you choose, the kingdom will collapse in a generation or two. However, there is still one factor that might divide Equestria even before its inhabitants die off. The kingdom of Equestria is ruled by 4 monarchs. They have certain obligations to the people, and it is actually a federal constitutional monarchy. Though the rights and succession of the monarchs are largely unknown, there is one fatal flaw that could spell the end of the kingdom. Because there is no parliament, judicial court, or any other governing body, it is clear that all power rests in these 4 heads of state. However, history has shown what happens when multiple monarchs share power. William Shakespeare's Macbeth quote that power lust is a weed growing in an abandoned mine is quite accurate. At some point, one of the princesses will turn on the others to kill them and take the role as the leader of Equestria with unchallenged power. It is very possible that all the ponies will turn on each other in a battle for the throne. In the year 1066, King Edward the Confessor died, which set up a succession struggle between several claimants to the throne, mainly because he himself did not have children. William of Normandy claimed right over the crown, while another related noble, Harold Godwinson, disputed the claim. Even Harold's own brother Tostig joined the war in order to claim the throne, and in the end, It's what brought the Norman invasion of England. This is just one instance of many struggles for power. In the case of Equestria, it is very possible that the war between these factions will lead to a stalemate and the kingdom itself will be divided. So the future of Equestria is pretty grim. The best case scenario is where one of the princesses wins the civil war and becomes the lone ruler of an even smaller population with a small gene pool that will no longer become a viable population in a generation. The worst case scenario is where the country is divided into 4 smaller kingdoms which all meet the same fate as their former nation. Not a happy ending. But there is one thing that we can learn from Equestria, and it's that every government requires checks and balances with multiple branches so that the system doesn't crash on itself. Not only that, but more importantly, it shows us that a family is the most important block of a society, and everyone needs a large enough gene pool to survive. We can and should easily solidify ourselves with the mistakes of others.